Yes, my people, what is happening? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. So we are day 5 post-holiday in Turkey. Got home really late on Friday night and got to bed at a ridiculous hour. So we spent the entire weekend kind of recovering, myself and Chloe. I rested on Saturday. I actually felt good to go to train on Sunday. So went in and trained push. And then we've had pull and arms the last 2 days and we are in for legs today. Not going to lie though, I'm feeling a little bit haggard today. I'm feeling a little bit tired. You know, we came straight back and we're kind of straight stuck into things, and I was mentally very ready to lock the fuck back in 100%. So that's exactly how I have been since I've came back, and I just feel like maybe I've gone at it with a little bit too much of an intensity, but we'll be all good, guys. We'll be all good. So some updates for you as to where we're at. So body weight this morning was 114.75. So the morning that I left, my body weight actually had come up a little bit. So it was 115.3. Then after the travel, really late night, really late meal that day as well, it was 115.5 kilos. And then, you know, first day back on track, boom, weight dropped back down to 114.8. Went back up again, and now it's come back down again to 114.8. So we did actually make some changes when I got back. Kuba increased my slew, and we added some MOTS C back in. So the MOTS C has been in at 1 milligram the last 3 days, and the slew has been bumped up to 250 mcg from 100 mcg. But I didn't actually take the slew with me on holidays, so I wasn't taking that at all. So I think now I'm kind of, you know, maybe recomping a little bit, or maybe the body weight is dropping because I'm actually burning through some body fat. I went to bed last night, and you know what? After my medium day food for arm day, I was actually quite hungry. I'm not going to lie. So we've got our meal one here now this morning, which I'm actually going to show you because it's a new meal one, an adjusted meal one. Chloe has been slagging me, saying it just looks like shit on bread, which it kind of does. Those little granules, they're not bits of sweet corn, guys. They're actually the nuts from the Montezuma's absolute black dark chocolate. So this meal here is 150 grams of sourdough with 15 grams of almond butter, 15 grams of dark chocolate, melted in a cup and poured over and spread. And then we've got 20 grams of whey protein on the side and 100 grams of blueberries, which I have already consumed. So we're going to get meal number one in now. I'm going to go out for a little bit of a walk. It's 1st of October today. It's absolutely miserable out. It's dark. It's raining. So the winter season is here officially. The grind is present. It's officially, I couldn't do my steps because it was raining weather out now. You know that kind of season of the year where everyone forgets that rain jackets exist? Yeah, you. I'm speaking to you, you lazy motherfucker. Get out there, get your steps done. Put on a hat, put on a rain jacket. It's not going to kill you. It's only a bit of rain. I actually find it quite refreshing. I'm not going to lie. But anyway, guys, we'll get meal number one into us now. I'll get back upstairs after my walk, get doing the remainder of my check-ins. I want to get them done super early today because I'm obviously recording and I've got other bits to do. So, yeah. Yes, gang, we are back. Work has pretty much been wrapped up, bar one check-in from a US-based client, which has just come in now whilst I was eating my last meal. So I'll get that check-in done, and then we are going to head to the gym. But before we do, I just thought I would mention something to you guys that I'm going to try it out this week and see if it helps with my digestion. So in a previous vlog before I went on holidays, I had some digestive issues, as you know. Kind of was dealing with the brown rain there for 4 or 5 days. Now, Kuba adjusted my food at that time. We pulled my protein down, yada yada, right? But I had 5 meals for like 2 of those days, okay? And I found that when I had the 5 meals on those 2 days, my digestion was a little bit better. When I was away on holidays, my digestion was actually pretty fucking fantastic. And it was because I was eating 4/5 meals most days. And I think for me, having a larger period of time in between meals helps me quite a lot. Like, I think for most meals, I have about 2 hours in between them. But for me, I really feel like I need to have 3 hours in between meals for them to like really like digest like properly, if that makes sense. So I'm going to try and move back to 5 meals. This is something I did in my last off season as well, just on my training days, not my rest days, but it worked very, very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have like a much, much larger post-workout meal and then just have my final meal at night. So I've adjusted my pre-workout meal and my post-workout meal up, and then I have just removed meal 5, and then I've just kept meal 6 the exact same as it was. So I won't, or maybe I will show you what I'm actually doing for that in this video. I'll show you what I've done to adjust the post-workout meal to make it a little bit more carb dense, a little bit more calorie dense. But I'm going to trial that out for a couple of days and just kind of see how that goes. Reason being is that, like, in your off season, I feel like you're kind of chasing your tail with your meals as the day goes on. And for me, one of the biggest things that affects my digestion is eating too close to bed, right? So if I come home from the gym, let's say at like 3 o'clock, and I get my post-workout meal in at 3 o'clock, and then I eat meal 5 at 5 o'clock, and then I eat my last meal at 7 o'clock. That's 3 decent sized meals in the space of, practically 4 hours, right? Because there's only 2 hours in between those 2 meals. And I just find that, like, that last meal, it just doesn't like clear super quick. It's sitting on top of the other food that I've already consumed. I think it's because as well, I like to do most of my output earlier on during the day. So I'll have meal 1, I'll go for some steps. Meal 2, I'll go for some steps. Meal 3, I'll go for some steps. Then I will go and train. Then when I get home in the evening time, I eat my post-workout meal. I like to watch some YouTube after my post-workout meal. Then I come back up to the desk and I practically just work until meal 5, and then in between meal 5 and meal 6, I'll chill out with Chloe. So I don't really do that much output after I come home from the gym. I get all my steps done, boxed off, get home from the gym. I just like to relax and just work and just chill out. So I think that kind of affects my digestion as well. So I think if I can come home from the gym and just have a large post-workout meal, right? And then have 3 hours in between my post-workout meal and my last meal, and then that meal being even like further away from bed than I normally would be, I think that's perfect. So say, for example, I come home, I have a big post-workout meal at 3 p.m. Then I have my my last meal, at like 6:30. I'm still eating that meal half an hour earlier than I normally would. And I have an extra hour of digestion for my post-workout meal. And the way I've designed the meals here, they're not actually that much bigger. I've just utilized some higher volume foods. So I think this is going to go down a treat, but I will keep you posted and let you know how I get on. With that, just thought I'd mention that because digestion is super important, guys. And again, I'm going to try and catch things early this time around. I can feel the digestion is starting to slow down a little bit. I can feel my gut is starting to get a little bit more sensitive. So I'm trying to really, really get ahead of the curve with making these changes before I actually run into issues. So yeah, I'm going to go downstairs now. I'm going to do that check-in. Then I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to show you what arrived in the post just before I recorded this clip. Special delivery for D-Mac. So I've been waiting for this one for a while because when I was over in Turkey, it was meant to be getting sent out. So then I had to wait until I came home to get it shipped. And then I missed the delivery yesterday, so it didn't get shipped until today. But we have it at last. So it is the new Hardbody Forest Green collection. So let me just do a little bit of an unboxing for you all here. Cut this sticker. These boxes, when you get stuff off Hardbody, these boxes that you get your shit in, honestly, are super, super premium, guys. And it says all that you need to know about Hardbody and the quality of the stuff. Genuinely, like, I remember when they like first reached out to me and I was like, oh, sick, cool, equipment sponsor, that would be handy. And then I got the stuff across and I was like, this is actually next level. Why did I not buy any of this shit? Like, I'd always get like a cheap pair of wrist straps or like, a cheap pair of like wrist straps or whatever. I actually got some wrist straps off Gas before and like, they were just so bog standard. And then when I got my Hardbody ones, I was like, these are fucking next level. Like, these are so much better. I couldn't get over how good they actually were. So genuinely, guys, I'm not just saying this, the quality of this stuff is absolutely unrivaled. And Brandon really does have like a massive eye for detail and attention to detail. Like, even having spoke to Brandon in person about like a lot of the stuff he's planning on doing for Hardbody and him showing me a lot of the products that he's going to be, slowly releasing as the year goes on and stuff. He puts a hell of a lot of work into and a hell of a lot of thought into like these products and like making these products and making sure like the quality, the detail and stuff is on point. So we've got a lever belt here, guys. Forest Green lever belt. I actually really, really liked my Hardbody belt that I got, but it's like a little bit thin for me. So this is like a thick, proper lever belt. I've never had a lever belt, and I know like it's something that a lot of like powerlifters use and stuff like that, but I fucked my lower back doing squats on the Cybex hack squat, and I was wearing my Hardbody belt, which did help quite a lot, but I think I needed even more stability and bracing. So that lever belt is going to come in very handy. So let me just open up this box and show you the rest of the stuff that I've gotten. So I think they have the little silver buckle. Like this even comes in a separate box. So look at this, the silver buckle for the lever belts. Look at that. Very, very nice. Very cool. So I got that silver buckle for my lever belts. Leg day today, but no squatting pattern or anything like that, just leg press. So we won't be using that. But let's see what else we have here. Oh yes, I was looking forward to this. Hard body, crossbody bag. So it's a shame that this didn't come before I went on holidays, because these look like they are built very, very, very well. So we've got like a little packet here at the front, zip pocket, loads of different compartments inside, one for having your phone in, little netted pockets. We've got another zipper on the back here that you could potentially put like wallet or money in, so that it's on like the inside. And then of course we've actually got just the adjustment for you to put this bad boy around you like this. So there we go. Look at that crossbody bag. Oh yeah, who needs your fucking Gucci or your Louis Vuitton when you've got your hard body? Okay, I didn't. I fastened that a little bit too tightly. I'll just have to get Chloe to redo that for me, because I'm terrible when it comes to these things. I don't even know how to make this bigger. Is that making it bigger, or is that made it smaller? But anyway, crossbody bag, very, very sick. And then I've got the new knee sleeves. So I got these in an XXL because the extra large just barely even fit me the last time. Sick. I'm not even joking. The video does not do these justice for how nice these are. So forest green, just as we're coming into the winter, these bad boys will be worn for the leg press today, because my knees are pretty fucked lately. So I need the MV Pros. I do actually need the added resistance at this stage. And then finally, we've got some elbow wraps. I think these are like the V2. So we've got some hard body elbow wraps, which will come in handy too, because my elbows are fucked at the moment. And then I think we've got some knee wraps as well. Oh yeah, some grey knee wraps. The grey, I must say, is probably my favorite color. So look at that. Got the Velcro nice and bundled up nicely. Hard body logo on the outside, black on the inside. Very, very sick, guys. Very cool. And then of course the emblem. So guys, you know the drill. If you want to pick yourself up any of this equipment from the Hard Body website, then use code DMAC10 to get some money off. Any support will be much appreciated, and trust me, you won't be disappointed with this stuff. The quality is just next level. So yeah. Oh, and speaking of DMAC10, guys, see this top I'm wearing here, okay? See this explosive fibers top? Boom. Beautiful. And if anyone's watched my videos for a long time, I'm talking going back to before the 2023 prep series even started, you'll know that I've been modeling for explosive fibers for ages, right? And I've had a lot of people comment on these videos. I've had a lot of people DM me off the back of these videos and off the back of Instagram posts and ask me, Dara, do you have a code for explosive fibers? And I never did, because they never did codes. They didn't do an affiliate program or athletes or any of that stuff until now. So DMAC10 is now active on the Explosive Fibers website. Guys, if you want to pick up some Explosive Fibers clothes, and if you want to support me, then you know the drill. Use code DMAC10. So I'm actually delighted that Explosive Fibers have finally decided to do codes, because I do feel like it'll do quite well for them as a business. The owner, Richard, he's quite old school. You're forgetting, guys, Explosive Fibers have been around since the late 80s, right? And there's pictures from back in the day of Phil Heath and Dorian Yates wearing some of the Explosive Fiber stuff. So it's a pretty cool old school bodybuilding brand that has been out for a long time. And I feel like it's very unique and it's very different to other bodybuilding brands. Obviously, as you know, I love my Gasp stuff. I always wear my Gasp stuff. I love the Gasp pump covers because they're really lightweight. I love the Gasp like hoodies and tracksuits because they're really good quality for the winter and stuff. But my fucking favorite gym item of clothing of all time is my Explosive Fibers baggies that I have in like every color. I just absolutely love those because they're just super lightweight, nylon-y, and
they just go with everything. They're just the best fucking pants ever. So yeah, with DMAC 10, you get yourself some money off. And they always end up doing some like really, really sick rag tops like these, and I always have people asking me about them. So yeah, DMAC 10 guys, we're taking over. Clothing one at last now. So I've got the equipment, I've got the sups from Conte, and I've got the clothing now from Explosive Fibers. So pretty cool. Feel very fortunate, feel very grateful. Something that if you told like 17-year-old Dara when he first started watching Christian Guzman videos back in the day that he wouldn't believe you, and he'd think, oh wow, you've made it. But I don't feel like I've made it now. You know, it's funny how the bar changes and the benchmark goes up, but sometimes you have to stop and you have to look back and you kind of have to be a kid again, and you have to realize like, that is pretty cool. That is pretty sick. Obviously, been working hard, been working towards all of these things to get these kind of opportunities, and you know, to have these companies work with me and like reach out and all that other sort of stuff. So yeah, pretty sick. But anyway, on the Explosive Fibers as well, guys, before I wrap up this clip, there's me and I think 2 or 3 of the other models who've gotten codes, and that's it for now. They're not officially rolling out their affiliate program until December. They're just literally trialing it right now. So if it goes well, they'll obviously roll it out fully. If it doesn't, they might potentially scrap it. So run it up, guys. Run it up. Support your boy. Get on it. Use code DMAC10 in Explosive Fibers, and hopefully they'll keep the old affiliate program around. All right, I'll leave that there. Let's get to the gym, because now I'm itching to train. Let's go. All right, guys, back from the gym, and I thought I would show you my post-workout meal, or my new post-workout meal that I'm going to try for the next couple of days. So here we've got 100 grams of jasmine rice with 200 grams of chicken. So this is 125 grams, or down from 125 grams to 100 grams. And then we have the addition in here of 100 grams of banana, 20 grams of raisins, and 100 grams of banana with 20 grams of honey. So we got the Rouse honey. Not my favorite honey, but I've got this big fuck off bottle that I got in Costco ages ago, so definitely need to get through that. And then on the side, we have got 1 slice of sourdough bread with 20 grams of jam. But for the jam, we've got Bon Mamam raspberry jam, which is the fucking goat. Nicest jam on the planet. Nothing else even comes close. So this is going to be my little dessert after I've eaten this, but this is obviously going to taste like a dessert as well. So I'm looking forward to this, because I haven't had raisins, and I haven't had banana, and I haven't had honey since I was peaking for shows. So this is going to go down a treat, and hopefully it's going to be much, much less food volume on the stomach. So this entire meal is 167 grams of carbs. Light work. Okay, guys, we're back in action. I had to collect C Chisel from the train station there from work, but she's come home and she's continued to grind. Still grinding. She's grinding very hard lately. She's complaining even harder. But look, we won't speak about that. We won't speak about that.
Because it's the end of Q3 at the moment, guys.
End of Q3. Hear that? Corporate girl. She's smashing it out. Smashing out them numbers, aren't you?
No.
Anyway.
I told him today, though, I got a Loom video from an auditor that I need to watch tomorrow, and I'm actually...
Imagine that. All my clients watching this, we get Loom videos off me. Imagine getting a Loom video off an auditor, going through fucking things. Oh my
I just
God.
don't even want to watch it.
I'd say the second she seen a Loom coming in, she was like, oh no.
I was thinking, how do they know what this is?
I know, yeah. But that's what it's for.
I know.
It's not for online coaches. It's for fucking... It's actually for businesses, you know, who actually do, you know, important stuff. Not that what I do isn't important. But anyway, guys, we're getting sidetracked here. Okay. Leg day today was good. Again, you know, we're doing the whole, like, Nick Walker thing where I'm lifting, like, really, really light and just keeping things super slow and controlled and pumpy. Actually felt amazing on my quads today. The Atlantis pivot leg press is back in, which you would have seen in the last video that I posted before I went away to Turkey. Stuck at the exact same weight again this week. So 6 plates top set. I added in an extra set today. So I did like 4.5 plates for the back off set. Considering like my all-time best on that is like 9 plates for like 10, 12 reps. You know, that's super fucking light for me. But I'm able to come down, and I'll actually pop a video in here. I'm able to come down really slow and controlled. Get fucking ass to grass. 1, 2, and up. So I really took the piss with the pause in the hole and making sure I was feeling that tension the whole way through the quad, and making sure as I pressed up, it was like I was doing a leg extension. So I'm going to try and see, can I do this on pull day as well? Even though it's a tricky one, because like my pull days are keeping me sane at the moment. I can't take the piss too much with push because of my pec. I can't take the piss with legs at the moment because my knees are fucked, my lower back is fucked. So I'm kind of having to reset on both of those areas. So I don't really want to reset on pull because pull is the last session that I can just go in and I can fucking lift around some heavy weight, you know. Even though I feel like that's one of the areas of my physique that needs to grow the most. And I feel like it could benefit from this. I don't want to say new style of training, but, you know, approach that I know that works, but I let my ego get in the way. Let's just call a spade, okay? But look, a good session nonetheless. So I feel a little bit more positive after that. I do feel absolutely wrecked though. I won't lie. I'm actually extremely tired now. So I want to get to bed early tonight, and I want to just fucking sleep in as much as possible tomorrow. Rest day tomorrow. Busy day with work. I've got a lot of check-ins to do, and I've got a lot of stuff to do for new clients and stuff like that as well. But I'm going to try and get a little bit of a lie in, hopefully, if I can, because the one rest day every 5 days is not the one. Might potentially have a chat with Kuba about changing my training frequency and adding in an extra rest day, but we'll see what he says. I am actually going to be training with him on Friday for push, so really need a good rest day tomorrow. Haven't actually trained with Kuba in a while, actually, in a good while, so it'll be nice to get a session in with him. Hopefully we can get pull and legs in as well. I'm wondering, am I going to get the call up to train with him on a more consistent basis now that Marcus fucked off to Dubai, you know? But we'll have to wait and see. He's just kind of like post-show, and I know he's rehabbing that kind of bicep injury he has. So I obviously don't really want to say it to him. But if he says it to me, fantastic. I think I could probably benefit from getting a good run of training in with him. But, you know, it is what it is. I don't mind training on my own as well. I actually prefer training on my own, to be honest. I've never had like a good training partner. If I had like a really, really good solid training partner, like a good consistent training partner, not someone who I could train it. Well, Chloe, but yeah, not someone that I've trained with like very, very consistently. I just give out to Chloe and bark at Chloe because she doesn't know how to spot me, and she's nearly left me for dead a couple of times.
That's because you lift stuff that is way too heavy for me.
So yeah, I feel like if I had a really good training partner, I would probably get the benefit from it. But for me, you know, the gym is my therapy, and I do like to go in and kind of be in my own head and listen to my loud music and just get after it myself without having anyone beside me. I feel like even if you train with someone and even if you don't really speak, you're still kind of like, I don't know, there's still a little bit of energy that you need to kind of like give to each other. So it's obviously good every now and again to get after it with someone. As I do enjoy sessions like that. And I remember there was a couple of sessions I did with Kuba and Mark when I first moved here. Leg sessions that were fucking mega. They were brutal, and we were in the gym for like 2.5 hours, and they were like long sessions, high volume, SLDLs, fucking leg presses. Like it was brutal shit. Split squats at the end, but they were fucking unbelievable sessions, and I really enjoyed them. So yeah, we'll wait and see. What else was I going to say in this clip before I wrap things up for this evening? Oh yes, I got my blood work done on a Sunday, and I normally get the results back on a Wednesday. Haven't received anything back just yet. I was going to review them in this video. However, I'll probably wait until tomorrow, and hopefully that they do actually come true. You know, let me check my spam folder actually, because I think they've updated their system. So maybe, it's not gone in there. That's fine. So I'm hoping things will be good, but obviously getting your bloods done just after Croatia, or not Croatia, I keep saying that, after Turkey, you know, and eating some foods that are off plan. I'm like in my own head, like, oh my God, is my LDL going to be terrible? But because the worst I ever seen my LDL, the only time I ever seen it slightly out of range, I had a 5 guys the night before I actually got my bloods done. So that was kind of a bit of a stupid idea, wasn't it? So I'm hoping that's not going to be the case again this time. But look, if I do see my LDL high, it'll just force me to be ridiculously clean over the next couple of weeks and months, won't it? So I will review those bloods for you all in this video tomorrow. I'm taking my check-in photos tomorrow morning as well, so I'll probably just pop them in this video, and I may potentially drag this video out until Friday so I can let you know what Kuba says in my check-in feedback and let you know how the session goes with him, or that might be another video, but you'll have to stay tuned to find out. So we'll wrap that up for the evening. 6 o'clock now, guys. I'm going to have my last meal in half an hour, which is perfect. I am actually getting a little bit hungry now. That post-workout meal just went down a fucking treat. It was unreal. And I know this next meal is just like the size my normal last meal is anyway. So I'll probably be going to bed hungry again tonight, which is what I want, because I feel like the hungrier I get, the better my digestion is, the better my sleep is, and then the better everything else is. So yeah, all right. Peace out, guys. Good night and God bless. Yes, gang, welcome back. How are we doing? It is Saturday, the 4th of October. It's 3 days later, and what an eventful 3 days it's been, guys. You know that last clip, the way I was saying I was feeling a little bit smashed? Yeah, I'm double smashed now after the last 3 days, I must say. I'm really starting to feel the off season, really starting to feel the body weight, really starting to just feel it in general. Now, sleep has been pretty fucking solid the last 3 nights. It's been really good, actually. 7 hours 49 minutes, 8 hours 21 minutes, 7 hours 46 minutes. So genuinely can't complain with those numbers, but it honestly still feels like I would sleep for days. Now, we do have what could potentially be one explanation for that. So I got my blood work back, guys. I got my blood work back on Thursday. And turns out there was something wrong all along. And I knew that was going to be the case, okay? Now, it wasn't what I thought it was, which was the blood viscosity. In actual fact, my hematocrit and my hemoglobin was like the lowest I've seen it in quite some time, which is actually strange. But my estrogen is out of range. And with that, guys, it's quite substantially out of range. So this kind of came as a surprise to me, but didn't come as a surprise to me. You know, I was in denial at the fact that my estrogen could be out of range, right? Because I'm going to share with you some numbers from a previous bloods. Okay, so I'm just going to pop it just down below here, and as you can see, my testosterone pretty sky high, right? 223 nanomotors, but my estrogen 157. So it's like top end of the range, but in range, it's perfect. My prolactin, my estrogen, my cortisol, all bang on. Testosterone sky high. Okay, the cycle that I was taking at that time, my primo and mast are exactly the same right now, but my test is actually 200 milligrams lower. Okay, but these are my numbers from my most recent blood test down below. So as you'll see here, my testosterone 77 nanomotors and my estrogen 339 picomoles. So that's what over double the top end of the normal range. And I can feel this, guys. You know, the only time I've ever seen my estrogen out of range of my blood work is when I did my first like 2 or 3 cycles, and I kind of like didn't really have the knowledge I needed to have on both the compounds, but also on myself and what dosages I needed to take to control my estrogen. So this would have been back when I was running like, you know, maybe 300 tests with 150 or 200 MPP and 150 mast. You know, and obviously the mast would act as a serum, but nothing was bringing my estrogen down. So I get my bloods done, and highest ever seen my estrogen, I think, was like 450 or something. So this isn't too far off that. You know, obviously 450 is a little bit higher, but my estrogen just doesn't look like it's been controlled here at all. So at first I like got these results and I was like, fucking hell, is my gear fake? You know? Now I've used the exact same source for the last 3 years. It's a reliable source. I know the source. They always get the batches tested. The last batch that I have had has been sent off to tested, and it's legit, right? So who knows what way my body was responding this time. Again, I think one of the factors could have been like how aggressively potentially we scaled up the cycle this time around, and how my doses would have been higher, maybe at a higher body composition. My body wouldn't have had time to, you know, kind of process things, because the higher levels of body fat, the more aromatization that you're going to see. So maybe I just gained weight too quickly alongside bumping the cycle up too quickly, and I got a disproportionate amount of aromatization than I normally would. That's what I'm hypothesizing here, okay? But look, let's not read into it too much. The results are in, and basically my fucking estrogen is double the way it should be. Now, some people, they can run their estrogen quite high, they don't see side effects, it's fine. In terms of me seeing side effects right now, I don't have like a loss of libido. I obviously have never suffered from any gyno issues, none of that shit. I have noticed that my acne, like I've gotten small little bits of acne, like I get all these small little spots along my arms, and you know, I've gotten like a couple of spots on my back that are a little bit more cystic in nature. And I said it to Chloe recently, I was like, my spots haven't been this bad in a while. I kind of knew something was off, you know. So yeah, and I would probably say I am a little bit more irritable. I would say my mood is a little bit more volatile. I am a little bit more irritable, which is a sign of that, of high estrogen. But I think the main thing is like sore joints, really, really fucking nasty pumps, like lower back pumps just walking up the road. So I am definitely holding a nice chunk of water. So how are we going to manage this? All right. Now, just as well, I got some Proviron in that Turkish pharmacy while this was away. So we've added in 25 mega Proviron. Kuba wanted me to do it morning and evening just for the meantime. but I've only got 40 tabs, so I'm just going to do 1 tab a day for the next 40 days. I think that's just a better approach personally, rather than just having it all gone in 20 days, just in case this isn't resolved. But look, it should be. And we're also going to just add some aromasin in, which is an AI. I think probably just like 2 tabs this week, just to bring it down in range. Maybe might run it for 2 weeks if I feel like it's not come down. And honestly, I think I will be able to feel when my estrogen is back in range, because I've been feeling like it's been out of range the last couple of weeks. You know, I know I've been like speaking about like the high blood pressure and the yada yada. Testing my blood pressure the other day, it was like 138, 140 systolic. So it's still, you know, elevated by about 20 points higher than I normally would like to see it. But I do think if I can get this estro back in range, I should see that come down. Maybe not 20 points, but at least 10 points. I'd say I'll definitely see it in the, you know, high 120s, maybe 130s or something, which is where I would normally expect to see it when my estrogen is in range and everything kind of like feels good. So yeah, other than that, you know, bloods were good. My EGFR, actually best I've seen it in a while. My ALT, actually pretty low for me as well. Best I've seen it in a while. So I was super happy with like liver and kidney stuff. LDL, that wasn't the best, guys. That was 3.5. So that's the worst I've seen it by 0.1. And again, the only 2 times I've ever seen my LDL cholesterol out of range has been during times where I've had excessive off-plan meals, I would call them. Now look, I was away on holidays in Turkey, guys. I had an off-plan meal every single night bar one night for the whole entire week. And then when I landed back, I got my bloods done the next day. So like potentially this LDL could be skewed, okay? And like I mentioned in the last clip, the last time I got it actually done, when it was out of range, I had a fucking Five Guys the night before. So like I do think like the proximity to the off-plan meals and obviously the poor food choices does probably skew it a little bit. But even at that, it's more so a build up over a couple of weeks. And obviously I had a week back home in Ireland where I did have a couple of off-plan meals, and then we had like 2 weeks in between, and then we had the holiday. And obviously there was some off-plan meals before that as well, you know? So like this has probably been the worst I have been for off-plan meals since maybe post-show in 2023. But again, guys, you can only stay locked in for so long before you're like, right, I need to step back. I need a holiday. I need to go to Turkey and just fucking, you know, eat like a normal person. Well, a semi-normal person for a week. I obviously still was factoring everything in, as you would have seen from my full day of eating. But anyway, you know, it just goes to show, guys, that like eating a clean diet, eating a diet of whole foods, eating a bodybuilding diet 24/7, 365 days a year, right? It ain't just about being hardcore. And that's never why I used to preach a diet like that. It wasn't that like, look at me, I'm more hardcore than you because I don't have off-plan meals. It's like, no. Look at me. My blood work is better than yours. I'm healthier than you because I actually put in the effort to eat healthier to make sure my bloods are under control. So like, if you're going to be taking steroids, guys, especially if you're in my position where you're pushing for a pro card and you are pushing things and you're taking higher doses than what would be deemed, you know, safer use or whatever, right? That's going to come with trade-offs. It's going to come with risks. So yes, I can maybe go to Turkey and have a holiday for a week or whatever, but that's like a 1 in every fucking 2 year, 3 year thing for me. The last like holiday that I had in Croatia where I did that was in 2022. You know, so since I've started bodybuilding, I've had 2 holidays where I've done that. Like, and those holidays are probably still at better than the majority of average people eat on a normal week. You know what I mean? But if you're a bodybuilder, guys, unfortunately, you can't eat like a normal person. Or you shouldn't, in my opinion, eat like a normal person. You need to eat like a bodybuilder. Actually, what am I saying? Eating healthy is normal. Eating healthy should be normal. Normal people eat like cunts. That's actually what I'm trying to say here as well. Okay? So, look, moral of the story, right? My LDL is out of range. I know when I get my bloods done again at the end of this cycle, it's going to be back in range. Why? Because I don't even know am I even going to have an off-plan meal from now up until the end of this phase, right? Chloe wants to do like a Christmas dinner before she heads away to Australia. But other than that, I've got literally nothing coming up from now up until the end of the year. Nothing. I've got nothing, okay? So we're going to be extremely dialed in. I'm confident next time I run some bloods, they're going to be on the money. And of course, I will show you that. So, next up, after the Bloodwork review, God, I spent a lot of time talking about that. Right, where are we at now, bodyweight wise? So, I know I told you my bodyweight had come down the last time I touched base with you to 114.8. It came back up Thursday, Friday, 115.4, 115.1, and now big drop this morning, 114.35. So, average bodyweight is still up a pound and a half versus last week. But I reckon, guys, next week, I'm actually going to see it dip a little bit. And I think I'm actually going to be pushed into a little bit of a deficit. Now, we trained with Kuba yesterday for pull. And we did actually, we did a very, light session in terms of the loading, right? But he really forced me to be very accurate with my execution. But more importantly, really pause in the shortened range. Okay, so I'm going to just put some videos up here on the left-hand side. So we did a couple of unconventional movements here. As you see, this lat exercise, it's a little bit of a science-based liftery one, but it felt pretty good, And we went pretty light here. This Cybex Bravo stack is super light. We're nearly doing the whole stack, but this stack is very, very light, guys. Okay, so this really forces you to be very accurate. I really felt this in my lats. Okay, and we did 2 sets here on this, on our right arm and our left arm, and loads of warm-ups, way more warm-ups than I'd normally do. And then we did a single arm cable row, again, really, really contracting at the back, right? So in that shortened position, making sure we're really, really squeezing and just holding that tension through the lat. And then we did another lat pull down variation, right? Just a classic one on the prime pull down here. We did 2 sets of that. So we had 6 sets each arm for single arm lat work, where there was a real short and bias focus. And then we moved on to some upper back work at the end, but not a major amount of upper back work. We literally just did prime pin loaded row. Again, kind of focusing on the shortened here. This actually felt mega. I used to do this before. I had this in my plan on prep, but I had the setup all wrong. So I was doing it like a really, really horizontal row, and I was kind of almost doing more of a mid-back lat row than an upper back row. So I was rowing kind of completely horizontal, like I said, instead of from low to high and flaring my elbows and almost shrugging up. So this felt really good yesterday. And I used to do the full stack here on prep, and I was doing not even half the stack, and I was struggling towards the end here because it was just hitting my upper back in a portion that I'd never really hit it before for a while. And then we did this shrug on the Atlantis T-bar. Kuba was doing 70 kilos here, and I was I'm going to have to go lighter than that. Did this 50 kilos. I could barely get any reps on it, and I even had to kind of bend my elbows a little bit to get more retraction. This was extremely, extremely difficult for me. I did 40 kilos, which felt a little bit better for the second set, but yeah, that needs a lot of work for sure. So there is areas of my upper back that I think that are a hell of a lot weaker than my lats. And then we did this rear dead fly variation. So this was fucking mega. On a low incline bench, just cross body like this. This felt so good, so good. So I'm definitely going to be keeping this in here. Now, I've got really good rear delts anyway. They're probably they're up there with my forearms in terms of being my best body parts. Abs, forearms, rear delts. All the stuff that aren't too important, all small muscle groups. They're all good on me, and then I'm not blessed genetically in other areas, but what can you do, But, it felt great, so I'm definitely going to continue to do it. And that was the session. So Kuba's split is pull-push legs. That's what he does. So I was meant to be training push yesterday, but I trained pull with him instead. I've got push today, legs tomorrow, and then I think because I have Will booked to come and do physio on Tuesday, I don't want to train on that day. So I think I'm just going to take 2 rest days, Monday, Tuesday, and then just go back onto my normal split, as I think the 2 rest days will be needed. Because, guys, I'm feeling pretty fucking haggard, and what a week it's been. There's been a couple of stressful things going on in the background, and today I need to record for my own YouTube. I need to record some content for Hardbody. I need to record some content for Conte. I need to train with Kuba this afternoon, which will take about 4 hours of my time. And I need to get my hair cut at 10:30 because I was meant to get it done at 10:30 yesterday. And I got out of the shower and I looked at my watch and I was like, oh shit, it's 20 to 11. And I had to ring my barber and be like, bro, I'm really sorry. My head is scrambled this morning. So I'll be into you tomorrow. Thankfully, he could rebook me for today. So that's the story, guys. That's the story. So I'll keep you posted in the next vlog as to how these next 2 sessions go with Kuba. Push today, legs tomorrow. I'm actually really looking forward to both sessions. Yesterday's session was mega. I really enjoyed it, and it really forced me to think a little bit more about what I'm doing and how I'm training, etc. And I'm looking forward to kind of seeing, can I pick up some things today for pushes. This is probably the main area where I do need to lighten the load a little bit and not focus on, chasing the numbers and progressive overload, and maybe focus on those stretches and those contractions a little bit more, because I just fucking can't afford to injure myself. And, one of the key takeaways from yesterday's sessions, and one of the conversations Kuba was having with me, that, if he was training with me 2 years ago, he said none of the stuff that we went through yesterday would have been applicable to me. But at the level I'm at now and at the size I'm at now, this is what I have to do to step forward again, progression wise. And I was kind of saying to him, like, mate, I don't feel like I am at that level yet, but he's like, you are. So it's a funny one, because obviously I'm always very critical of myself, and I'm always trying to like chase that next level as a bodybuilder and that next kind of like tier, so to speak. But I feel like I'm kind of at a turning point now where I'm just like stepping into that. And I can even see like the size I am in the gym lately. And a couple of people have actually said it to me about doing open and not doing classic. And I feel like that's because that's going to be the in thing now, just because Urs did it right and all the attention is on it. But I think I've come to the realization, especially like, I know a couple of people who have done preps previously, like over the last year or two, and even people who are doing preps this year, who are, sucking down to get into that classic cap, and like they do kind of end up looking worse. There's a guy on the Conte team, James Murphy. He moved into the super heavies this year. He competed. He's like something crazy, like 10, 15 kilos up from the last time he was on stage 2 years ago as a classic athlete. He looks night and day different. He looks way better, and he looks like a monster. He looks huge. I'm like, wow, how do you do that in only 2 years? Because I'd be thinking if I moved into the supers, oh fuck, that's going to be a 5-year project for me. But he was like sucking down to make that weight, that classic weight, and his look ended up being much worse. And I've kind of seen that happen with a lot of guys, where they'll be on prep, they'll be coming down, they'll be at a certain weight, and they'll look really, really good. And then they'll pull an extra, 5 kilos off from there to get in under the cap, and it ruins their look, and it's just not the best physique they can present. And I'm half worried already in my head that actually could be me this year. So I know in my mind, this is probably going to be my last year doing classic. And it's funny because I feel like it's only my first year doing classic, even though it's not. 2023, I won my class in classic. 2025, I won my class at a regional, and I won the overall, and I came top 3 in a pro qualifier. So I kind of did a lot last season. And now this season, the goal is pro card, right? But I don't want to be outside the top 3 in any pro qualifier that I do. I don't care if there's 5 guys or there's 25 guys in my class. I have to be in that top 3 for me to like keep going, showing up to these shows, be gunning for that pro card. I need to be there. Like if I'm coming like outside the top 5, for example, I show I'm like, I'm not there. I don't have it. I don't have what it takes. I'm going to be very realistic with myself. And I'm not going to like compete this year and just fall short. It depends. Like if I like lose out on a pro card by a split decision, then I'm going to be like, okay, I need to keep going here because I'm right there. But like if I'm off, if I'm not, winning my classes and going for that pro card and, either getting it or just losing out this year, then I'm going to just sack off classic completely, because it's not worth it for me to waste time not growing and not enjoying bodybuilding and not enjoying training and having to hold myself back with the food and the drugs and everything else just to try and, win a classic pro card and not present a good look. That's the most important thing, not presenting a good package, not presenting my physique at its best. Because it's funny, right? In 2025, the 2025 season, I was obviously incredibly happy with the outcome of that season and the results I got. But with those results aside, the thing I was most happy with was my look, especially the day of the Ireland show. I was like, wow, this is like the look. This is my physique at its like potential right now where I'm at, muscularity wise. And in 2023, I feel like I didn't present that. I feel like I had a really good physique at like 5-6 weeks out, and then the physique I presented on stage was fucking terrible. I was too sucked down, I was too faded away, I was too stressed, I was too fatigued. And I just didn't present the best look. And that was what kind of irked me the most from that season, was more so the look rather than the placings. And even though I did really well placings-wise in 2025, I was more happy with the look, right? So that's going to be the same again next season. I think that's always going to be the case if you're a true bodybuilder, you know? So anyway, guys, sorry for that 20-minute clip. I rambled there, but plenty of updates in that one. So hope you enjoy just sitting here watching me talk to the camera. I'm sorry I'm not one of these YouTubers, guys, like, you know, the Glenn Gillans or guys like that, where it's just cut, snappy, really, really quick and really engaging, or Mr. Beast fucking vibes. But I just like to talk. I just like to get my thoughts out, like to share where I'm at. So hopefully you like that too. And if you do, guys, be sure to drop this video a like. You know the drill. Right, I'll leave that there. Thank you very much for watching. As always, my people, and we'll catch you in the next one.